I'm sorry for this thumbnail. I really am. We obviously are not back. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I know it's going to be on the thumbnail. I know it's going to be on the title. I am here to apologize. We're also going to talk about some other issues that I want your opinion on. I would like you to put it in the comments. I'm hopeful Kabam watches this so they can learn, because all of this was so insanely avoidable. But I don't want to distract from this. And I am very open for, we're coming up on 5 years now, that I am pro player, that I want to be honest with you, that I'm going to be very transparent, that my relationship with you is significantly more important to me than my relationship with Kabam or anything like that, right? I'm building a channel. I'm not building a pro Kabam channel. Sometimes I'm going to say things that are going to upset you. I'm very okay with that. And that's not my intention. I'm going to be honest and tell you what I think. And I know a lot of you felt like whiplash from this thumbnail, and I'm going to leave it up there. And I'm an adult. I can admit when I made a mistake. I was very excited. I'd spent a lot of time on the issues that I had quote unquote boycotted on. And I'm saying quote unquote because I use that term, and I'm not going to sit here and like have a semantics debate with you. If you don't like that term, that's fine. I'm not interested in trying to prove this or that. No one gets served by that. But I wasn't spending, and I said I'm officially not spending. It was for 2 reasons. And Kabam went above and beyond. Now, what you don't know is that I spent a crap ton of time in DMs, phone calls, going back and forth and talking with various employees. I was under the impression that had strong influence. I then came out and find out later that at least one Kabam employee was incredibly upset that I felt like I had influence, and it was very important to them that I knew that I had no influence. That's fine. That's totally, totally fine. And that's kind of part of why I'm here. I'm also aware that this was the thumbnail, and thumbnails are used to get attention. And I did want your attention, and it wasn't for like nefarious means or clickbait or anything like that. I was genuinely excited. So much time had been put on that, and I thought we were on the road, on the right track. I was leaving to Kabam. None of that is to excuse this. I've said this on stream a few times, that if I could change anything, it would be this exact thumbnail. I haven't taken the video down because I still meant what I said in the videos. I'm now open to spending. If I'm having fun, I will spend. You've seen me do that. Now, I've also said, though, I'm not going to go get Jean Grey or Dark Phoenix or whatever the hell it is. And it's for a variety of reasons, and we're going to talk about that. But I did want to say, absolutely, without a doubt, I'm sorry about this thumbnail. I truly am. If I could change it, I would. But I'm not going to pretend that it didn't exist. And I want you to know that I'm a mature adult. I can say, hey, I messed up. I made a mistake. This thumbnail should have clearly said, we're off to a great start. I'm excited. I'm ending my quote unquote quote boycott, but we've still got a long way to go. So from me to you, you were upset by this, and I say if you were, not to undermine the apology, but because I see the likes dislikes ratio. I know a ton of my viewers, they know me, they know I get excited, and so I wrote this, and that I was hopeful, and they watched the video and they were okay. So I'm not really necessarily apologizing to them because I don't think they were upset. If they were, I include them in this. I'm sorry for this thumbnail. I really am. We obviously are not back. Okay. You know, I missed the stream for the Heart of Fire, I've missed the 2 Kabam live streams. One, I was in Japan on a trip. I watched the synopsis videos. They were really exciting, and that furthered my enthusiasm. And then, of course, I came home and I was very excited, enjoyed the war stuff and whatever, but that's not what this is about. This is about, and then the live stream this like last Friday, I missed it because work came up. I had intended to cover it and do my synopsis video. Work came up. I have a real life job. It's a great job. I'm so fortunate to have it. And so I prioritized it, and I needed to take care of it. So I did. I then caught a tail end of the live stream, though, the Kabam live stream, and a lot of what I heard, I did not like at all. Kind of part of the, like, we're clearly not back. At least not the like general idea of what that term means when people say it. And so much of this, in fact, all of it, I live streamed afterwards, and I was like, I know that I am bothered and upset, but I want to hear from you first, you, the viewers. And a lot of you showed up, and we had a great stream, a very long stream. And a lot of you said like, hey, there's a lot of W's in there in the Kabam live stream. And I was like, yeah, you're right, there is. But I then did a video almost as soon as that stream was over. I was like, these L's are so avoidable. And I want to tell you, just so you can understand how avoidable they were, about a week before the Kabam live stream, I started to catch on that in the crystal, there was not going to be Hercules, or sorry, yeah, definitely not Hercules. I didn't ever think that, but not Cosmic Ghost Rider and not Hulkling. And I started to catch on like, it's going to be Dark Phoenix and she's going to be a final milestone. And I advised Kabam, I was like, do not do this. You have built so much hype on this. There's so much community goodwill coming off of the Red and Deads event. And it was like the spenders got stuff and the free to play got stuff and everyone in the middle got stuff and everyone's happy. And you're building into this awesome event and we're getting champions that literally like you and your employees have told us are too broken. They're bad for the game, but we enjoy playing them. It was just so good. And I realized, damn, it's going to be this Dark Phoenix and you guys are going to put her in the milestone, aren't you? I told them, do not do this. This is not going to be received well. And it's me who wrote that, so I don't think I'm like breaking I can say what I said. And so when they did it, I am not shocked at all. In fact, I'm like, I told you. Like, I told you. This was so easy to see coming. And I know, I'm aware that there's a voice out there saying like, well, this was YouTuber-driven hype. That's not our fault. And you know what I have to say about that? Is one, we were only responding to what was put out on the Kabam live streams. Two, do I need to remind you about the Omega Days? 6 champions, 6 classes. Glorious Guardians, 6 champions, 6 classes. Gifted Guardians, 6 classes, 6 champions. Legends Crystal, 6 champions, 6 classes. That feels like a precedent. This is even taking place at the exact same time as Omega Days last year after the spring cleaning sale. We were even told, like Omega Days, but better. Now, I went back and I watched the Kabam live stream on day 1, and it is clear, or when this was first announced, and it is clear, they say champions are coming to the 7-star pool. They never say that there will be 6 champions available in the crystal. And so technically, they never said that we were to be getting 6 champions in the crystal. They never said that. They truly did. But this is why to some players, it feels like a bait and switch. Some players are calling it a rug pull. I don't use that term very often. And to me, it was just, this was so obviously avoided. And to that last thing about YouTuber hype, I don't see you guys complaining when we make our new champion videos or we show how phenomenal they are, and it happens to coincide with when the champions go on sale. So maybe if you really think this is a YouTuber hype-driven issue, you should take issues with those videos too. They come out about twice a month. I'm in the CCP. I put them out because I want people to know what they're potentially spending their units and items on. And if you really are upset about YouTuber-driven hype, you might want to have a voice or an opinion about us not making those videos anymore. Let's move on though. The other thing is, and I have this response up from Kabamasaurus Rex, and I'm not going to like pretend, right? We all know this is Karate Mike. And I want to be abundantly clear. All of my experiences with Mike, the ones I can talk about and the ones I can't because they're NDA protected, have been extremely positive. This is not a man who is in any way, shape, or form led me to believe they want to get defensive and argue about what's right and what's wrong. In fact, I think when I look at this, I feel like he's really showing us he tried to help. And I'm bringing this up because I don't want any of this to be about him and to not bring him up, though, when so many of us are aware of this post. And he's such a prominent community figure and such a prominent one for positivity, for helping the game get better, for communication getting better. And so I want to address this, like, dear viewer, if you want to make upset comments, that's fine. But I just am not going to see a rational reason for them to be about this man. And because he's addressing what he can address in that, look, there is apparently a point in time where we were maybe getting carnage. Now, I have to say that if the crystal was set up to be 6 powerful champions who had not yet been released as 7 stars, and the idea is carnage, I think whoever came up with that idea may need a talking to. Because Mike is right. That would have been significantly worse than what we ended up with. But here's the thing. the bar should not be that low. In fact, this whole forum post was started by someone saying like, this was completely created by the information we received. And for as I said, I came up just off the top of my head, 4 sales events that had 6 champions, 6 classes. And this kind of like dovetails into what'll kind of be my next point is Kabam, it feels like you often forget that you make the game and that we, the viewers and the players, know that. So when we read something like this, you're right. There are some of us who are going to be like, oh my God, thank you so much for not being Carnage. And then there's a lot of the rest of us who just see things a little differently. And it's very clear there's a lot of us who are going to say like, you didn't have to put Gallon in the Titan, or you could have put Gallon in this crystal too, or are Cosmic Ghost Rider and Hercules and Hulkling really, like, you've played Serpent, right? I mean, we were so distracted by how ridiculous he is as a defender that even when I put out, like, he's actually a good attacker, you know, a lot of angry people showed up about that. And then now we're to the point where with Serpent, like the Alliance War Showcase video came out, or the challenge, or whatever the hell it's called, the quest. And the answer, like, literally, I mean this, was, you know how the joke is like, just Herc it? It was just Serpent. Like, he shuts off, evade, and miss with a buff that never goes away as long as you don't get hit. And if you do get hit, you just throw a special and get it back. He has immunities. He's even got immortality. His specials go unblockable. He doesn't need to intercept. You just literally 5-hit combo over and over. And you can even, I know you do better if you throw specials into the block, but that's often a skill ask. And if you don't throw the special into the block, guess what? He goes unblockable. And so it's really tough, honestly, as a player. And maybe like a lot of you are like, oh, you obviously are dumb idiots. And that's fine. It's often, it does feel like you think we're dumb idiots. It really comes through like a lot. But Serpent, like, could you tell if I was talking about Serpent or Hercules there? I don't know. You tell me. Also, on the live streams, like, and it's not, I want to also be clear, because again, none of this should be at Mike. I don't think Mike created the whole scenario. It is obviously someone decided to save Dark Phoenix as a big thing at the end. You literally could have just started off with her. We've got this amazing event. There's going to be 6 new powerful champions, and we're going to have a crystal with only 5. Like, you could have actually made this a positive. There's only going to be 5 champions, making it that much easier for you to pull the one that you want. Aren't you hyped to buy your units and offers at Red and Dead sale and then turn them in to Nick Fury or Apocalypse? And then the next week you announce IBOB and everyone's like, it's all right, I guess. And then the next week you're like, and Tigra. And we're like, oh my God, they're doing it. And then the final week on the live stream, as you're fully getting ramped up into this, and everyone's accepted, the Dark Phoenix is going to be the final champion of the milestone. Because for the most part, most of us don't have issues with there being a trophy champion. That's proven. Look at Weapon X, JJ, Jessica Jones, and there's others out there. I just can't think of their names right now. Most of us aren't complaining about that anymore. I make videos on Weapon X. I love him. He's phenomenal. And you could have just started off with that. And then the big crescendo, the end of it all, what do you guys call this? I can't even think what you're calling this event, right? It doesn't matter, okay? The Omega Days Part 2, whatever the F it is, and the final champion, it's future Ant-Man. And you've got a community just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? In free to play, we've got all these units saved up. I got a chance. You're telling me I got a chance, and you made it only 5 champions. So now I got a chance at Fury. I got a chance at Tigra. I got a chance at future Ant-Man, right? Like, you could have made this into a huge hype machine. Instead of the final one being, hope you got 40,000 units ready, bro. And that's the feedback. It's not, hey, why isn't this Carnage? The real feedback, the real question that a lot of people like myself are asking is, why did you do it this way? This could have been so easily avoided. Please learn from this, because none of us like being up. Like, I actually want this game to do great. And when the community's upset, then they're not going to support it. And when they don't support it, the game doesn't do as well. There is so much to possibly learn from this. Let's jump to the other issue. The other issue is this. In a game where it is so obvious, it's clear and it's okay. Kabam should make money. Like, look at the comments on my video about the unforced errors in my post. It's like, very rare are people saying like, hey, Kabam shouldn't make money. A lot of people are even like, look, dude, like, yeah, they messed up the build into this, but like, it's a trophy champ. Get over it. I will remind you that I literally just spent $800 to get Red Guardian. Now I got a lot of other goodies and rank up materials, and I'm going to make way more back from my YouTube channel, but a lot of people did that. So this is just 1 month after that. But no one's like, no, that's not fair. Most of the people I've seen are not upset that there's a trophy champion. And I understand, Kabam, you obviously want to sell them. Like, good God, I get that. We've got like 5 champions, it feels like, who came out in like the last 4 weeks. But a lot of that's going to come down to consumer confidence. Okay? And when you're the consumer, unless you just want to rely on irrational spending, and I don't think that's what you want to do. That's not the way to have another 10 years. You want consumer confidence. And the reason we go and buy champions is, yeah, there's be some hype on like, hey, like me with Red Guardian. I wanted Red Guardian. It's a character I want, but that happened, what, once a year? Is it we go out and get them, or we buy our rank up materials to make them more powerful so we can use them in the game? And we have situations where, and I couldn't find it, but it feels like it's in the last 12 months. And I want to be clear, dear viewer, I'm not trying to insinuate that it's been deleted. I don't believe it has. I just can't find it. I can't operate the forums very well. That there was a post when it was Serpent and Photon and Bullseye and Onslaught, where you, Kabam, said like, we did too much too fast. And in a game where we would need, like, you guys make the game. You all write the posts. You all come up with these champion attributes. Okay? It's not us who does it. And so when that post has come out and you want us to have confidence in it and have confidence in you, and then literally in the same month, you put out this champion, and this is Dark Phoenix. People are going to be facing her in Battlegrounds. And I realize some of you might say, well, she's just a stall, or you're really only going to see her in Battlegrounds for Massive Wells. That's still a game. Like, please don't try to act like this isn't the game that we'll be playing. You want us playing the game, right? Or do you not want us playing Battlegrounds? Like, you can't have it both ways. And then the new champion coming out this month in a regular release is actually a 5 out of 5 defender. And it's not so much that we're saying like, hey, no defenders. If you literally within like the last 16 months wrote a post saying this was too much too soon, we had to make up for all the really hard, great attackers we had put in. And you're still putting out like Zola and champions like that. Arcade was buffed to try to become a better defender. And then now you're putting out 2, 4.5 and 5 in a single month. And there might be counters. We don't know. See, that's the other thing. Us players go to this hoping we can rely on this. And this is from you, Kabam. And so there may be counters, there may not. We don't know. But here's the thing. If there are counters and these defenders really aren't that bad, then why are they 4.5 and 5? Does that mean you will rebalance them? That's been my understanding of balance, is that did they hit what they were supposed to do? And the champion attributes are what, or at least our understanding or my understanding is like, what the champion's supposed to do. So if they come out and they're not that hard of a defender, does that mean you're just going to make them harder defenders? And if so, how does that relate to the post that wasn't that long ago? And so I would really encourage you, if you're trying to sell champions, to avoid things that come out of nowhere, which leads to the Alliance war change. And I understand, I really do. And guys, much like I said, like, don't give Mike crap, because I don't think this is Mike, and don't give Crash crap, because I really think this is a man trying his best. He's trying to be as transparent with us as he possibly can. But the feedback here is, if you come and tell us, well, I guess we can't innovate. No, that's literally not it. Why jump to this incredibly extreme conclusion to defend what you did? There's all of these places in the middle. You have Alliance War players who, yeah, some of them do want innovation. I would love it too. But again, you're selling us these champions, you're selling us these rank up resources, and we buy them with our hard-earned dollars or units, and then we put them into something And when you out of nowhere change it, even if it's just for a season, that erodes our confidence. That erodes our idea that you know what you're doing and we can rely on you to be consistent. It doesn't matter if you tell, in fact, it almost makes it worse when you tell us like, this may never come back. So this was basically like a beta and you're using us as a beta and you're implementing it when we would normally play an alliance war, which some of us do actually enjoy. Maybe some people don't, and that's fine. But this is something that could have been done in the off season. This could have been set up as a beta. This could have been set up along with the alliance war season as like alliance war raids. I know people are using that term. And then you wouldn't have the issues and the upsetness that you're facing, because people wouldn't feel like I just ranked up all this, or I just joined this new alliance, or I just left my alliance because war was what it was, especially in light of you just put out a new map literally 2 months ago. And that new map was like years in coming. We'd like to have faith that that's what you were intending to do. And that's why you spent much time on it. Remember, you told us that one of the reasons Battlegrounds didn't get attention for so long is because your human hours and power were going to other things like the new war map. And now it's next season, totally different. And it also flies in the face of something that we were told was, we want more deaths. And we're like, dude, you're just causing us to use more potions. It's like, no, it's not the no potion. It's not us trying to monetize the mode. It's we want more deaths because people like it when they die more, because then wars aren't 2 to 3. And we're like, that means 14, 15 instead. So we want to believe what you're saying. I enjoy the game. I'm going to continue spending if I'm having fun or it seems like a good deal. I think I'm representative of a lot of your player base and your very rational player base. We want to believe that we can trust what you're doing, and that if you change your mind, which is allowed, you heard me apologize at the end of this video because I did something and it didn't come across as I intended. And I do feel badly about that. Instead of acting like you don't understand what we're saying and you like counter argue against something that we didn't said, or maybe some like person showed up to your stream and said a dumb thing, and so you attack that instead, it just feels like you're completely disregarding the very legitimate concerns of the vast, well, I don't even want to say the vast majority of your players who are like me. As usual, dear viewer, please let me know what we think we got right. Please let me know what you think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.